Hello everyone, my name is Maria Young and we are in Central Florida. Right now I'm just relaxing in my beautiful, wonderful porch garden, and I'm going to go ahead and share with you one of my most favorite orchids. And the reason why they are my orchids of choice is because they are one of the simplest orchids to take care of, especially in the orchid kingdom. The orchid that I'm speaking of is called the Radican Orchid, also known as the Crucifix Orchid and the Poor Man's Orchid. The reason why they started calling it the Poor Man's Orchid is because at a time where orchids were very expensive and it was very difficult to get a hold of them, the Radicand Orchids were introduced. And the Radicand Orchids are very, very simple plants to take care of. They're wonderful plants to propagate from and start new plants. So therefore, they were readily available to the public, and that's why they became the poor man's orchid, because even the poor man could afford it. Now, I'm going to show you these orchids. And these orchids are actually the infamous Radicand Orchids. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take you on a brief tour and show you the many varieties that I have. And also I'm going to show you the technique that I use to propagate these orchids. And I'm sure after you see this, you're going to fall in love with these orchids. And I wouldn't be surprised if you yourself start this tradition of collecting these wonderful, very addictive orchids. Let me go ahead and show you first and foremost my most favorite orchid. It's a gargantua of an orchid. I have to show you guys this particular orchid plant because it is the mama of all mamas. So if you come with me, I'm going to show you. Okay, and here we are. As you see, this is the mama of all mamas. She is very, very huge. I don't know if the camera can actually capture this, but she stands about 3 feet high and extends about 3 feet wide. And she was very, very overgrown when I had gotten her, and actually this is the plant that I have taken a lot of clippings from, babies, and also stem cuttings, and I've actually have propagated some and will propagate some for you today just so that you can see exactly how I do it. Now, if I come to the back, you can see here, the person that I actually purchased this orchid from just really let her have her way. And as you can see, her roots are coming out. She is way above the pot. And she is very, very overgrown. So if you think she's huge now, you should have seen when I first got her. She's actually been weeded out or kind of filtered through, and the good clippings were taken off and the babies were taken off, and I put them in a pot. So again, she's a very huge species of a plant. Really, really love her. And I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the other orchids that I've already started propagating. These are actually from the orange variety. Put this one in a pot, and again, these are stem clippings, cuttings, and also little baby kikis that I put in here. And this one right here, I put in a bird cage. Just was thinking of a creative way to hang and display this orchid. And you know, not only can they be put in pots, but they can also really be put in whatever container that you want to. And because they are creepy crawly creatures, when they get big, they can actually start crawling out of, you know, the actual container. Okay, let's go back to the garden, and I'm going to show you some more varieties of Radican Orchids. Okay, and here we are, back to my porch garden. And as you can see, I am indeed a flower lover. I actually have many different varieties of orchids. This in particular is the beautiful and infamous Phalaenopsis orchid, or also known as the moth orchids. And as you can see, this one is just filled with so many blossoms. And they're just Absolutely gorgeous. And guess what? They're still blooming blossoms. Just a gorgeous specimen. Okay, anyways, back to the topic at hand, which is the Radican Orchids. Now here's a particular one. This is a red variety. And as you can see, what I've done is I've actually just taken a container, and I think what this was a waste basket. And I just went ahead and put like a coconut husk liner on it to prevent the soil from coming out. And I took the clippings and the kikis and I just put them in soil. So these are I'm starting out, and they're very newly planted, so they haven't blossomed yet, but here in about a month or two I'm hoping they will blossom. Okay, and this particular Radican Orchid is actually the purple variety. And I'm gonna really show you why they also call this the Crucifix orchid. If you look really closely at the individual flower, you will see the crucifix actually stands straight up. The cross, which is very noticeable. And what this orchid does is it blooms its blossoms in just a multitude of miniature Cattleya orchids. And if we take a look further down, the foliage of this plant, the Radican Orchids, are oval shaped. They're very leathery, very tough and firm, and very waxy, very shiny. The whole plant itself is just really beautiful, and again is one of the reasons why I love them. And the blossoms come in a many variety of different colors and shapes and sizes. Okay, now this is another form or species, and if you take a look, this is actually, the blossoms have been spent on here, so it's going to be a little while before they bloom again. But as you can see, again, the cross standing straight up. Oops, sorry about that. And you will also notice that the color in this particular one is red. And let's see if I can focus in on some more of its red blossoms. Very, very nice. Okay, and these are some more Radican Orchids. As you can see, these are the orange variety. And the blossoms are a little bit different. I don't know if you noticed the earlier blossoms, but these petals are a little bit shorter, and just a different formation of the blossoms. I also have the yellow variety. It's almost like a canary yellow. And also, as you can see, the crucifix stands at the top. Just very lovely color. And this, again, is another variety, and never mind my dog's barking. But this is a pink variety, and this actually comes in different shades on the same plant. You have the darker blossoms, then you have the lighter ones. Okay, and the color of these leaves are a little bit lighter, almost a lime green. But again, they're very waxy, they're very firm, very leathery and oval shaped. And you can see some of the little babies that come out from the base of the plant. And also you will see the kikis that come from the stem. Usually when the blossoms are about to be spent or they're about to die out, they will begin to grow their kikis. Here's some more kikis, little baby one. And they'll start protruding their roots. And when you start seeing their roots about 2 inches, they're really ready to just be plucked off and ready to be put in the ground. Now again, these orchids are really creepy crawlies. That's what I like to call them, because in their natural form, their weight and the way they grow out so long, they'll start just really creeping all over the ground. But some orchid collectors or people that really have a lot of these orchids, to maintain their shape and so that they won't get so messy and entangled, they'll actually prop them up on a stick or some form of prop, and that will allow them to grow straight upward. Now here is another variety, and what I've done with this one is I've actually put it in a cone shaped container, and I kind of, you know, made a natural display by adding some air plants and just entangling it into the container itself. And I've allowed the plant to kind of be in its natural state, to kind of creep downwards and do its thing. You know, I'm gonna leave this one alone. Do what you want to do. And this one actually has a very bright red, almost fire engine red, and orange blossom. They're very, very beautiful. And as you can see again, the individual cattleya shape in a huge cluster of blossoms. Very, very beautiful. Okay, so now I've showed you the mini variety. Actually, hold up, hold that thought. Sorry, I just got a little bit excited here. I want to show you my last and one of my favorites. Actually put this one in a basket-like container. This one is an unusual Radicand orchid. Although, as you can see, it has the same variety of leaves. If you look very close, this is like a dark, deep magenta in color. I don't know if the camera can quite capture the beauty of its color, but if you look here, these actually have only 3 petals. 1, 2, and 3. And then of course the throat of the orchid, but it only has 3 petals in comparison to the other ones that have 5 petals and a throat. So this one I'm taking very good care of. I actually got this and it wasn't in good health at all when I purchased it. I purchased it very cheap, but again, it was not in good health. So I'm taking very good care of these, and I'm really hoping that it'll you know, just thrive and allow me to take more and more plants. Here are actually little babies from the base that I went ahead and separated so it could start on its own. I don't know if you can see it too well, but those are little babies. Anyways, now that I've showed you the variety of orchids that I have, I'm going to go ahead and show you the technique of propagation. Okay, now before I share with you exactly how I propagate orchids, I wanted to go ahead and show you exactly what the seeds of these orchids look like, because I didn't get a chance to show you. But these are actually the fertilized blossoms, and they turn into little seed pods. The thing with this is these orchids really cannot be propagated through seeds, especially for your everyday average individuals. This actually needs to be kind of, in a sense, a science project because usually individuals that work with orchids can only propagate these through seeds because these orchids actually cannot thrive without a certain type of bacteria found in their original locations within the heavy vegetated forestry or jungles. There's a certain type of bacteria that has to actually combine with the seeds in order for it to go ahead and make individual plants from the seeds. So again, your average everyday individual cannot do this, but I just really wanted to show you the seeds because they're very unusual and neat looking. So, well, that's that. Now let's get to propagating. Okay, first I'm going to show you the materials that I've used. Here I'm just using these plastic containers because these are not going to be the actual containers that they'll stay in. I'm just going to go ahead and stick the stems and babies into these pots. What I've done, I've used my own little mixture using Miracle Grow potting mix, and also another variety that is more blacker and kind of more of a natural type of soil. And I've combined these two together, and I've also added a little bit of orchid material with the bark and the sphagnum, and I've combined them, and I've actually just mixed them together, making my own little batch. And as you can see, I put a little bit of styrofoam in here just to make sure that there's something lightweight and airy for the roots to go ahead and grow. One of the main things that you cannot do is overwater orchids, and you don't want to use soil that actually absorbs a lot of the water and retains it, because orchids do not like standstill water. What will actually transpire is the orchids will begin to root rot, and eventually it will make your plant sick, and eventually it will kill your plant, and you will become a plant murderer. So don't do it. Anyways, so this is the material that I use, and I'm going to show you the actual stem clippings that I've taken. And again, this was from the purple blossom variety of the Radicand Orchid, the one that I showed you. And what I've done is I've taken long stems, and also some of them contain the kikis, or the babies. And as you can see, this is very well formed. It has its roots already. This is probably about 3-4 inches, so this is more than ready to be taken off. You just simply pop them right off, and you have your new individual plant. And as you can see, throughout my clippings, they also include mini kikis. I'm going to go ahead and again kind of, this one's giving me a little hard time. Ha, you can't win. I will propagate you. Anyways, here's another little baby. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and start individually clipping these. And what you want to do is, when you do clip these long stems, I'm going to try to show you here. What you want to do is you want to take this plant, and wherever there's a leaf, that's where the roots will form. Or individual plants will also form from where the leaves are. So you want to kind of give it space to form. I'll go ahead and clip this right here in between these two. See if I could do it. I'm not going to be able to do it. But anyway, so I would, come back here. Anyway, I will clip these right here in between these two. So therefore it'll allow the roots to grow here, and also perhaps a baby plant to grow here at the new start. Okay, so I'm going to do that for you, and then I'll come right back. Okay, here I am, guys. I actually took a very big portion of the plant here, and I chose this one because you can see it just a little bit more better. I'm going to go ahead and take this stem off. This is actually where the bloom was, and usually little babies grow here, but this one doesn't have any, so it's quite alright to just go ahead and snap this off. And again, you want them in the segments where the leaves are. That's where the roots or the other little plantlets are going to grow. So I will choose something, say like this. That's long enough, and I'll break it in between. Again, it'll be the end of this where the roots can grow, but yet the start of this where a new plant can grow if it wanted to. So here you go. Sorry to be rough with you. You can also use cutters if you want to. I'm being a little bit lazy, and you can do it either way, so I'm going to do it like that. Now this is going to be a stem, that I'm going to go ahead and plant in the ground. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this leaf off. It's not needed. I don't take the other leaves off. I just kind of leave them there so that it can go through its magical process of photosynthesis and allow you to use the sunlight to produce energy for the plant. So I believe that. Other people will take these off, but I don't. I leave them on. So again, that is how you would do the stems. Gonna do it real quick. There you go. Here's another one. Take the bottom leaf off. Brand new plant. Again, right here is good. Clip it. Take the bottom leaf off. Brand new plant. And let's do it one more time. Right there. Bottom leaf off. And this has enough to grow at the bottom. And as you can see from one stem, I've actually created 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 different plants. Okay, so that is how you would do the stems. I've already showed you how to take the baby kikis off, which are these. And they already have their roots ready to go, fully energized, and they just want to grow, grow, grow. So these I'm just going to go ahead and stick in the ground. So stay tuned and I'll show you that. Okay folks, and here we are again. I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly how to go ahead and put them in the pots. I'm going to first show you how to deal with the kikis. Now as you can see, they already have their roots. You don't really want to try to damage them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little hole for them. There you go. And just go ahead and put the soil over them. Ta-da! How easy is that, folks? Here's another one. Oh, this one has a fairly long root. When it's long like this, because it has other rootlets, it's okay to pop these off. I mean, come on, I do. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and dig a hole, put them in there, cover it up. Ta-da! How easy is that? Here's another one, has longer roots. I'm going to leave this root system alone. It's very strong, so I'm just going to push it down a little bit. There you go, there you go. You're reunited with your sisters. Okay, and brothers too. Now these are the stem clippings. Very easy. Let's see. Pop in the ground. Make sure it's firm, sturdy. Pop in the ground. Make sure it's firm, sturdy. Pop in the ground. And then of course I just kind of mash it down a little bit so that it's firmly put in there. Don't mash it down too hard because then you kind of compact the soil, and then of course it runs the risk of being able to absorb a lot of water, and it also kind of chokes out the aerial roots or the root system. And again, I just go ahead and just pop all of these in here. Boom. And there you have it. And what I normally will do is I'll fill this all up, and you know, in about a month you'll start seeing new little plants. You'll start seeing new growth, and it'll become its own individual plant, and they'll thrive very, very hardy. Again, I love these plants. They're very easy to propagate and very easy to maintain. And there you have it, folks, the wonderful world of Radicand Orchids and how to propagate them. I'm really hoping that you learned something new from this video, and I would like to ask you to stay tuned for more, because in the future I will be creating new videos sharing with you different hobbies and passions that I have. So again, stay tuned for more. This has been Maria Young, reporting live from Central Florida. Back to you, John.